Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to people on the other side of the globe. A very warm welcome today to our webinar, which is hosted by Edge International Lawyer and Castellana Real Estate. We are going to discuss today the golden visa changes for residential investment in Porto and Lisbon. My name is Ilse. I'm part of the team of Castellana. I would like to start with a special thanks to all our participants. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today. And let me give you just a quick brief explanation of today's program. So we'll start with several presentations from our guest speakers. And today we're really proud to have with us João Cunha Vaz, Senior Partner of Edge International Lawyers, Vasco Cleto, Developments Director from Castellana Real Estate, and we have several senior members from the Castellana team. We have André Galau, Tara Whiting, and Ana Precio. Thank you so much, all of you, for taking the time to be with us today. So in turn, they will share information with us related to the business of their company, their views on the Golden Visa program and its changes, and especially how they can assist you in your possible decision to buy a property in Portugal and apply for the Golden Visa program. My colleague team members will introduce you to some of our top priorities, priorities after, I hope. Afterwards, we have time for the question and answer session. So you can send your question during the presentations and we will address them later when all the presentations are finished. Should your question not be answered, I do apologize beforehand, but we will get back to you later on by email. We will also share a link of this webinar to you by email, should you wish to review it and possibly share it with friends or family. So thank you very much. I will kick off with João. João, thank you once again for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you.
And could you tell us a little bit about Edge International Lawyers and your experience with the Golden Visa clients?
Of course. Good morning to everyone, or good afternoon, as the case may be. It's a pleasure to be here, as always. Edge is a law firm, a Portuguese-based law firm. We've been around, albeit initially with a different name, since 1987. I myself have been here for the last 17 years. And basically, the firm is mainly specializing in providing legal services to corporate or individual international clients with any type of interest in Portugal. We have a few offices throughout the country, a couple of offices also outside Portugal, in Cape Verde, and then a presence also in the UK. And obviously, what we saw in terms of the Golden Visa itself was, when the law came out, was an opportunity to combine already various areas that we dealt with internally, be it with the investments being done in Portugal by our international clients, and also the aspect of the residency, which obviously we had to deal with in different stages, also with clients. So what we've done was to create a specific team of people that in the firm dedicated to dealing with clients going for this type of investment and tying the investment with a Golden Visa application, a residency application. And what I can tell you is that throughout the last years, mainly from the beginning of 2013 up until today, we've assisted and continue to assist over 2,000 families that have made an investment and then have proceeded with their residencies. And then some of them obviously have reached to a stage where they are even today Portuguese nationals. So this is an experience that we can share with everyone.
Thank you, João. And what should we expect from the upcoming changes for the Golden Visa program from a legal perspective?
Well, we were, as we all, at least to those versed a little bit on these Golden Visa matters, we all know that these changes were anticipated for almost a year, and then they ended up being definitively enacted in February. And these focus in, I think, in two primary aspects. One is basically, and to begin with, obviously these changes, even though they came and were published in February this year, they're only going to take effect on the 1st of January 2022. Okay, this is a very important aspect, but they're focused in two aspects. Basically, increasing certain minimum amounts of investment for certain areas of investment, not particularly property. And secondly, they basically encompass what? Restrictions to where residential property investments can be made. There will be a restriction in terms of making that sort of investments in the coastal areas of Portugal, continental Portugal, and basically on the back of that, a clear definition of where any client can invest in residential properties from the 1st of January 2022 onwards for the purposes of the applying for the golden visa. These are the main aspects that are part of these changes that came out.
Okay, thank you, João. And my last question to you, could you go quickly over the basics of the Golden Visa program, and then maybe also touch the two differences between the 350K and the 500K Golden Visa route?
I'll try to be as brief as possible to give an accurate overview. But I'll ask just for I prepared a few slides. I'll ask for them to be put in the air, just for me to be able to have a sort of a graphical support to what I need to explain. Well, and I can start by saying that the Golden Visa, if we go into the next slide, the Golden Visa is what? Is a sort of a fast track residency. Okay, of course. Being a residence from a EU country, it allows free access to the Schengen area. Under Portuguese law, also allows you to apply for citizenship after 5 years of residency. It is quite interesting because an applicant does not need to stay in Portugal for long periods of time. It's just 7 days on average every year. There are no tax implications if the applicants do not live here on a long-standing basis. And also, I would say, as one of the key features as well, is that with one investment, there is a broad number of family members that can be part of that residency. In terms of the investment itself, that serves the purpose of applying for the Golden Visa. And if we go into the next slide, there's a few key aspects. Okay. And one of the key aspects is precisely what you were asking. Within the property investment, there are two main categories, okay? And those two main categories involve two different minimum thresholds of investment. We have the most traditional one, where the minimum threshold of investment is 500,000 euros, okay? And there's no conditions attached. Any type of property can be bought, provided that the minimum amount of investment is made. And then we have a second option where the minimum investment is 350,000 euros, okay? But that option involves what? Involves that a certain type of property, either a property located into what we call a regeneration area, which is typically, regeneration areas are typically the most historical parts of the city, and they're classified as such with a view of being refurbished and obviously improved. But that property needs to be either located in one of those areas or have at least 30 years old, be 30 years old at least, and obviously then be refurbished, okay? For the purposes of the application for the Golden Visa, it is important to say that even on a property in either of these categories, anyone can buy property which is not finished yet. So, for example, in off-plan projects, there are technicalities. Okay, there legally that we need to have what we call horizontal property or sectional title or strata title in place, so that we can register whatever agreements are signed towards that purchase to be able to then proceed with the Golden Visa. But it is possible to buy property still under construction or that is going to be built still. What also is important to outline, and you can see from the slide, is that we're talking about these two minimum thresholds of investment, and I believe that you will touch on this also on the properties that you're going to show. Well, at least that our colleagues here will show. But there is a 20% reduction on any of these minimum thresholds of investment, which brings them to 400,000 and 280,000 respectively if those investments are made into what we call low density areas. Okay, these areas are well identified. They're typically the areas towards the interior of the country, but just keep that in mind because it is also important when someone is looking into this. I would just finally touch on the topic of the investment itself. It is important to say that the property can be acquired without any issues and without any restrictions in terms of being used, in terms of being rented out. So there's absolute freedom from any investor to do that. And just with a final note that obviously the investment that needs to be made is a net investment. So it cannot, the minimum investment cannot be affected, for example, with a loan. Okay. So whatever loans and mortgages that any client wants to do and to apply for in terms of that property transaction, they can only be above and beyond the minimum amount of investment. Okay. I will just touch then on very lightly on the various steps of the Golden Visa application. Okay, going through the next slide and being as brief as I can. To say what? Obviously, with the investment being made, it is important to know what are the steps ahead of that investment in terms of the Golden Visa. And obviously, with any client, we will try to have all the documents in our hands, both from the country of origin of those clients and both from Portugal, at the time that the investment is being completed, so that we can then do the online submission. From the online submission, we proceed with to the pre-validation or validation of the documentation or of the application by the immigration services. That is taking these days 2 months, even a little bit more. So just to keep that in mind in terms of time, it's around 2-3 months. At that moment, we need to get back to any client and organize with the client for the client to come over to Portugal to do what we call the biometric data, which obviously these days will depend on availability of the immigration services, if there's traveling restrictions or not coming into Portugal from where the clients are. But provided that a date is set, then obviously we go with the client to the immigration services. And then obviously after that, the client can go away and I have 3 to 4 months there, but obviously these days it's even a little bit more. I think we need to look realistically to something like 6 months. It may be less or a little bit more for the final approval after the biometrics to be given. And when that happens, obviously we pay for the residency cards to be issued. We then send the cards back to the clients. And in simplistic terms, what will happen after that is that going through the next slide, we will see that the residency will be given for 2 years first, and then it's always renewed for periods of 2 years. Okay, and while this residency is taking place, it is important because it's also one of the main aspects that drives clients to take this step. It is important to outline that after 5 years of residency, that any client has the option of applying for a permanent residency or for citizenship, or simply to continue with their golden visa or temporary residency. So it is in very simplistic and in very quick terms what it is important to retain. Of course, there's additional data that we can discuss on the Q&A and or offline, but this is the most simplistic view I can give you of this what the golden visa is and what it represents going forward.
Thank you very much, Joe. I would like to address a few questions to Vasco. Vasco, our Director of Developments at Castellana. Could you tell us a little bit about Castellana and your experience with Golden Visa clients?
Hi, Ilse. Hi, everyone. Yes, of course. Many thanks for being here with us at Saturday. So Castellana was established in '99, okay, to become one of the top Portuguese real estate companies. And we are specialized in premium residential developments. Until today, we have launched some of the most renowned developments in Lisbon area and also in Porto. In 2018, Castellana formed a strategic partnership with CBRE, who is the world's largest global commercial real estate company, reinforcing our actual worldwide presence through our international channel of partners. About I will say 50% of our clients are international. And regarding our experience in Golden Visa, we are proud to have successfully assisted clients in over than 750 Golden Visa property demands. In 2020 alone, we have assisted closing around 50 Golden Visa with Hong Kong clients. Most, but not all, have chosen Lisbon as their investment destination and also decided to invest in new developments around Lisbon CBD and in the historical city center.
Thank you, Vasco. Now, what impacts do you expect from the upcoming changes from a market perspective?
Well, the weight of Golden Visa program in Lisbon and Porto is relatively low. So in general terms, I would say the impacts on the real estate market will be, of course, very important, but minimal. We already have, and we are expecting an increase of applicants to this year in 2021, rushing into the last chance of applying to Golden Visa status before the law turns effective. So we strongly advise not to wait until the last moment.
Thank you, Vasco. I would like now to ask André, my colleague, who is going to introduce some 500K Golden Visa options in developments. Thank you, André. To you, the stage.
Hello, Ilse. Thank you.
Hi.
And welcome everybody to this webinar. I'm going to present to you some of the options we have on the vast portfolio of Castellana for Golden Visa. These are some of the premium developments we have, and I'm going to be talking to you about the three ones in darker color, which are three very distinct neighborhoods. Starting with the one on the north, this development is located in the Endereiro Square, which is a neighborhood that is home to a lot of middle-class families, and also very close to the commercial area of Avenida de Roma. It is within walking distance of the Instituto Superior Técnico, which is the most prestigious technical university of Lisbon, and also very well served by public transportation. The square has a metro station just in front of the building, and this metro connects directly to Chiado, downtown, and also very quickly to the airport. So this development, the renovation works are well underway. It's expected to be finished by the first quarter of 2022. With a total of 30 apartments, we still have 16 units available, and the building has private parking. Also, facing south, there's a nice swimming pool and garden, so you can enjoy the over 300 days of sun that Lisbon always has to offer. The building is being completely refurbished with the structural reinforcements and all new electrical and gas and water connections, installations. And the prices start at 370,000 euros for the smaller units. This example is a 2-bedroom apartment on the top floor, which is priced at 500,000 euros. And it also has a parking space, which is always a nice addition to them. Moving south and closer to the River Tagus, the second development is located in the Santos quarter, which is a vibrant part of the city. The touristic area is very good for short-term rentals, so this is a very sound investment if you plan to invest and then get some return on it and put it on the market. It's also very close to the train station that connects to the Cascais and Estoril areas, and all of course to the beaches there in that area. It will also be having a metro station coming by in the very near future, so this area will be very well served by transportations. It's always boasting with nightlife, restaurants, coffee shops, and also art galleries. It's the home of the IAD Design School and of course the famous Time Out Market, where all the tourists go. Here is a view of the area. So the construction has just started on this development, and it is expected to be concluded by September 2022. And from a total of 26 apartments, we still have about 20 available. There is private parking, which is a big plus in the area, and also a fully equipped gym in the building. From the second floor, some of the apartments will have amazing river views, and this is a total reconstruction, which will preserve only the beautiful Portuguese original tiles of the facade. With prices starting from 350,000 euros, this is also a very good investment for Golden Visa. And if you have a look at this unit, it's a 2-bedroom apartment on one of the top floors with lovely brick walls exposed and a nice lofty feeling with those exposed steps as well, which is priced in this case at 520,000 euros. Now moving back to the city center and to the prime area of the Central Business District, CBD, and very close to the Avenida da Liberdade and Marquês do Pombal Square. This is one of the most renowned avenues in the quarter, with the El Corte Inglés department store very close by, also with the Lamborghini dealership just around the corner. This quarter is home to very high-class families and also home to many international corporations headquarters. There is also a metro station very close by, and it connects directly to the city center, to downtown, and also the Edward VII Park you can see, which is just walking distance as well. And here is an overview of this area and the development. So this renovation is in its final stages. It's expected to be finished in the second semester of this year. And there are 42 apartments from small one-bedroom units to 5-bedroom family homes. And there is also private parking in the building. The penthouses have private swimming pools on the top floor terraces, which are very, very nice. And in this particular development, we have a fully furnished and equipped model flat that we can show with using the modern technologies. We can do a virtual video tour so the clients can see exactly what the finished apartments will look like. Price is starting at 500,000 euros in this development for the available units, of course. And this example is a 1-bedroom flat that can be sold fully furnished, so with a return guarantee. And this other example is a 2-bedroom apartment with high ceilings and work ceilings, which is available for 530,000 euros. So there are lots more properties. So get in touch with us and we will help you choose the one that best suits your investment. And Ilse, thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, André. I'd like to move to Anna. Anna, you chose some other interesting properties for us.
Yes, hello. Thank you, Wills. Greetings, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you today, sharing a bit of our Golden Visa portfolio. So in addition to the 500,000 development options that Andrea has shared with us, I would like to present you another 3 top opportunities that are, we do believe they won't be in the market for long. So they are all very well located, central locations, new projects, and suitable either to rent, if your option is seeing the Golden Visa as a purely investment and you want to rent out your property, or if your decision is to relocate to Lisbon. So the first 2 properties I'm going to present are located in the area of the Avenidas Novas. So Andrea has just told us a little bit about this area. So this is one of the best areas of the city. So heart of the CBD, very well served in terms of public transportation. So several metro stations nearby. So it's a very flat area of the city. So as you know, Lisbon is known as the city of the 7 hills. And here in the Avenidas Novas, you can find a very flat area of the city. So with several pedestrian walks and cyclovias, so easy access also to get in and out of the city. So in terms of investment, we do believe it's a very interesting area to invest. So a lot of shops, cafes, everything with walking distance. So the first 2 properties that I'm going to introduce you are then located in this area of the Avenidas Novas. So the first one is Duque de Lolé. So Duque de Lolé is an avenue that connects to Marquês de Pombal. Marquês de Pombal is kind of our main square, and that connects to the luxury Avenida da Liberdade. So this property is a 2-bedroom apartment with 91 square meters. This is a brand new apartment in a brand new building that has just finished construction. And in terms of layout, is very interesting. So you have 1 suite and you have another bedroom that is served by another bathroom and a big social area open to the kitchen. So it has a big plus of having a parking space and being ready to move in. So if you want to start making money immediately with your investment, so this is definitely a good option to choose. So the second one is located in Saldanha. So Saldanha is also heart of the CBD. So it's a 2-bedroom apartment also in a new project from a very well-known Portuguese architect. And also a 2-bedroom with 2 bathrooms and having a big plus of an 18 square meters terrace. So the pandemic has showed a lot the demands that we have either for rent or either for sale. And the outside areas have really been one of the top demands of our clients. So here you have a 18 square meters terrace. So it's really a terrace that you can use. And so this adds kind of a big plus to this property. So it has also parking and storage. So definitely a good option to pursue. Again, if you want to live in the city and enjoy this beautiful terrace and the beautiful weather of Lisbon, and also if you want to rent, because absolutely there is a lot of demand for this type of properties. So now moving a little bit in terms of location. So we move to the area of Ajuda. So Ajuda is a neighborhood, a very well-established neighborhood, very close to Lisbon. So between Belém and here the center of Lisbon. So it's, as I said, a very established residential area, very close to Alcântara, a lot of projects going on around here. And it kind of mixes a little bit of the lifestyle of the city, the more busy lifestyle, with a more bucolic surrounding. So several parks, good schools. One of our best 5-star hotels, the Pestana Palace, are located in the area. So this is an area that is really very looked for, either for Portuguese or for foreigners to live. So the project that I will be presenting is a complete renovation of a building. So only the facade was kept. The rest is all new construction. And it's a 2-bedroom apartment with a good size, 95 square meters, and a price of 505,000 euros. So in terms of layout, again, you have an ensuite bedroom, another bedroom that is supported by this bathroom, and a very big open social area to the kitchen. This balcony here faces the vineyards of the Agronomy Institute. So it's a very beautiful landscape. So you kind of have the feeling that you are living in the countryside, as in fact you are in the city. So it has again the plus of having a parking. So again, we do consider that either to live, or if you decide to rent out your property, it is definitely a good option to consider.
Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you, Anna. I would like to go back to João. João, why the Portuguese golden visa over another immigration program?
Well, I'll try to be brief again, but I think it's down to 5 or 6 reasons. I think if you do that comparison with the obvious competitors, we start with what I believe is a much lower entry ticket, if you want to call it like that, where you can, as we saw, start when it comes down to property, 280,000 euros. So it is very low if you compare with other countries where sometimes you're talking about 1 million, 2 million euros of investment. Then also it is important to say this residency, unlike other residencies from those other countries, does not involve a relocation. So someone can hold the residency, as we saw, and just stay here a minimum of 7 days on average every year. And basically it maintains the residency with all of the associated advantages. Then one of the most important things, also linked to the fact that it does not involve relocation, is that it does not involve changing the tax domicile to Portugal, which also means that the tax status and situation of any client will remain the same, and it will not be affected by the fact that they will hold a residency here. Then I think that it's also important, I already mentioned this, the residency allows a wider number of people in the family to be able to also benefit and obtain the residency. Spouses or partners living together for at least 2 years, the parents of the main applicant, or the spouse or the partner, obviously automatic if they're above 66 years of age. If not, then they need to be dependent, but it is possible. Portugal. Children, obviously, up until 18 years of age without conditions. Above that, they need to be dependent, be single and study. So the concept is quite wide, and this is a very important factor, because you are saying to someone, look, with one investment, the whole family, or pretty much the whole closest family, can come. Then finally, I would say that the most attractive point is the fact that it allows one, without again being here and live here on a full-time basis or on a long-standing basis, to reach to a point where they can apply for citizenship after 5 years. And also linked to that, the fact that there is no interview, there is no nationality test per se. Of course, anyone applying for the Portuguese citizenship, they need to know to speak a little bit of Portuguese. We say, the law establishes, to a level that we call A2, but the process is objective. There is no interview where someone can say, oh, I don't like you, or I don't like any aspect of your life, and I'm going to reject you. No. So those are the main aspects that I would say that they stand out if you are making a comparison with those other obvious suspects, like I didn't mention, but the BNO program in the UK or Spain or Malta. So that's what I would highlight, and it has been proven along the years that these are the main drivers and differentiating drivers that make people come to Portugal rather than to other countries.
Thank you, João, for pointing out the advantages of the golden visa, the Portuguese golden visa program over the other immigration programs that we have. Now, how can any of our guests apply remotely to the program? Because of course, the last year we've had immense travel restrictions, and we know we already have the experience of people applying remotely without even stepping one foot into Portugal. Now, if you can tell us a little bit about that, and also the timings and obstacles that one should expect when applying from a distance.
Well, it is an obvious fact that we had to deal with all of these restrictions during the last year or so, and obviously there was a learning curve to a point to be able to streamline everything. But look, I can tell you that in terms of the process, everything effectively can be done remotely. We can easily, and we have devised in some countries with local presence or with local affiliations, the mechanisms to assist clients, but it is quite straightforward. We prepare everything here. We send all the documents to the clients with all the instructions. The clients, in turn, just following the instructions, they're able to send us powers of attorney and all the other documents that allow us then to be in a position to represent them here and take care of everything, which then in turn makes our life normal, in the sense that we can open bank accounts for the clients remotely as well. We can then take care of all of the other steps like we would normally do if the client had been here himself or herself to sign those same documents and to meet us. So of course the change is and we see it was quite, to me personally, it was quite interesting to see that the drive of people making investments without even being here obviously helped with some technology and with some differences when it comes down to property. I remember in a number of occasions, and this is recurrent now, see clients sending me videos that they received for properties that they're looking at. So everything can be done without any problems. Okay, I even dare to say that in terms of the timelines, that the fact that the clients are not here, the impact is minimal. I think about 2 weeks, because in some instances a power of attorney that could be signed here instantly, it takes 1 week or 2 weeks to be taken care of, because the clients need to go to a notary in their home country and then attest the document. But I cannot really say that there is an impact in terms of timelines. Okay, and the strongest message I can convey, and I think in the last year I've done this over and over again, is don't be scared of doing things remotely, because from a document and procedural standpoint, it is seamless. Okay, and we can make it work on a seamless way. So this is what I can tell you, and I think the numbers, at least I speak for myself, the numbers of new investors and new clients coming in the last year shows perfectly that With that small adaptation, things are almost the same.
Okay, thank you, João. I have another question for Vasco. Vasco, what should be looked upon when seeking a good golden visa investment?
Well, it depends a lot on the personal goals and objective of each of us. But at the end of the day, location, it will be always the first rule of real estate investments. I will try to resume in 4 kinds of demand. Clients that want to move to Portugal, seeing themselves living and spending time here. Then we have buyers whose main interest is to resell it one day later. In this case, we suggest under construction projects. Other clients are only interested in the golden visa itself, investing only the necessary possible. And in this case, one good possibility might be the 350,000 properties. And finally, the fourth one, we have clients who not want to buy in bigger cities like Lisbon or Porto and prefer the countryside of Portugal. In these cases, the 280 and 400,000 properties, it will be a perfect option.
Thank you, Vasco. Well, João already told us that from a legal perspective, there seems to be absolutely no issues and everything can be organized from a distance. And now, from the property side, how can we facilitate our guests to make an investment?
A picture. Last year, we have of 2020, we have 95% of the times we sold remotely to international clients, and in terms of golden visa, it was a best year ever. Castelhana has been for some years now a pioneer in this adoption of new technologies. But I think Anna can tell you better about her experience in selling remotely, since she's doing and did a lot of sales by this way. Anna, since you are specialized, can you tell us more about your own experience, on this?
Yes, of course, Vasco. Thank you very much. Yeah, in fact, we have been very successful in selling at a distance and remotely last year. So I think the pandemic really changed a lot the way we do business, not only real estate. And we had all to adjust in order to help the best way our clients to take a very good decision on their golden visa investment. So the truth is that the current communication tools that we have also make our job much more easy and the client's decision much more confident. So we use tools like the Google Maps and the Google Earths to share the locations with the clients so they can have a feeling and a sense of the neighborhood where they are buying. So the Zoom and the Teams allow us to meet with the clients. It's really important also because normally we can meet the clients personally, but well, now they cannot travel. So the Zoom and the Teams allow us to introduce the properties, introduce each other, explore the locations, detail the projects. And also tools like the WhatsApp allow us to share videos and photos of the property. And that really makes the client, makes their decision much more easy. So they cannot come, of course we know, but they can see and have a very close look to the properties they are deciding. So what we usually do whenever it's possible is we also do live visits with the clients from the properties so they can really get a good sense of the apartments. So I think this has been a bit of our success. So understanding, of course, that it's not easy for the clients to decide remotely. So we know it's not easy, but we are here and they can feel that we do all our best in order to make them take the best decision. So we work together also with the lawyers to provide all the informations, and so I think we have done a good job, and the clients really trust, and they kind of feel confident to decide at a distance.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. We already spoke earlier about the properties in the countryside, and Portugal. Vasco already touched that point. I would like to ask Tara to introduce us to some of these options that we have in our portfolio. Thank you, Tara.
Thanks, Ilse. Hello, everyone. I look forward to welcoming you to Portugal. I know you're going to fall in love with this beautiful country as much as I have. I'm going to talk to you today about properties that are outside of Lisbon. And let me just share my screen here. Porto, I'm sure you've all heard about, is the second largest city in Portugal. It's set on the banks of the Douro River. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's famous for its port wine, its easy access to beaches, and it was voted best European destination for the last 3 years. Many technology companies have also been choosing Porto as their base. We've got a very strong team in Porto, and we've got a large number of properties for sale in Porto, but we've chosen one that we think is exceptional. It's a mixture of traditional and modern architecture. All the apartments are very light and airy. It's very well located near the river, easy walking distance to the university and to metros, and will be very good to live in, as well as a rental investment. In the total development, there's 24 apartments. It will be completed at the end of 2022. One of the things that I really like about this is the outdoor spaces, the garden, the views, and most of the properties have either a garden or a balcony. You can see how light and airy the spaces are. The prices begin at 428,000 euros. I've chosen this one as an example, which I think is a very good investment. It's a 2-bedroom, which always rents very well. It's 108 square meters with a very large balcony and outdoor space of 14 square meters. And we've seen, in particular, since the pandemic, outdoor space is highly sought after. The next property I'd like to talk to you about is in the Alentejo. In fact, the next 2 properties are in the Alentejo. The Alentejo is an area of Portugal which is less than 1 hour from Lisbon on a quick road. The roads in Portugal are very, very good and easy to get around. The Alentejo is famous for its wine, olive oil, gastronomy, and beaches, and it's sometimes called the Tuscany of Portugal. This first property is unique in Portugal. It's set on a resort with a 5-star hotel, award-winning vineyards and a spa and a Michelin star restaurant. And what we've seen, I think it's not only a trend in Portugal, but a trend all over the world since the pandemic, is people want to be closer to nature. They want space. And this resort and this estate, which combines property development with a 5-star resort, has been very sought after. I'm going to show you just a quick video to give you an idea.
By Edward Jones for Condé Nast Traveler. Here I am in one of the famous sky suites at the Land Vineyards, and I've genuinely had a fantastic day. We went up in a hot air balloon, glided past treetops at just a few miles an hour, past what seemed like the set of Lion King, breathtaking views, down to the spa where they tailor each of the treatments to you, mainly involving wine, which is always great. A Michelin star restaurant, very hard to beat that. Wine tasting for each of the kind of grapes, and they've got such a variety here, you can pretty much take your pick. Then how better than to top it off here in a sky suite. And this, the pièce de résistance, stars above you. What can I say? Perfect way to end the day.
Okay, thank you. That should give you a little idea. On this resort, all property owners have access to the facilities, to the pool, to the spa. There's an indoor and an outdoor, the Michelin star restaurant. Several of them have a guaranteed return. And there's a mixture of opportunities, some which you can live in all year round, others that go into the hotel pool and are fully managed for you, and I give you a certain amount of usage per year. This is one product that we offer. This is perfect for the Golden Visa. They start at 400,000 euros. Now, as João told us, that if you're outside of a city like Lisbon or Porto, rather than a 500,000 benchmark, it goes to 400,000. It's a 20% discount. So in this is the Skyview suite. You purchase it for 400,000. There's a guaranteed yield of 5% for 10 years, and you get 1 week use per year. So when you come to do your paperwork or do your stay in Portugal, you can stay here, get a massage, and the rest of the time, you know, you're earning 5%. They've agreed that for the first 5 years of yield, the 5%, and the first 5 years of income, they're happy to pay you that upfront after you sign a deed. So that would be 100,000. So in essence, you're signing the deed for 400,000. Within 2 weeks after signing the deed, you will get 100,000, and that makes your purchase price 300,000. So it's a very attractive for a Golden Visa. The other options, this is the more examples of the Skyview suites outside. You can see how lush it is, and you get a lot of gardens. There's also 2-bedroom villas. These also go into the hotel pool. As an owner, you get 5 weeks usage per year. These have a guaranteed yield of 5% for 5 years. They come fully furnished and equipped, beautifully furnished. And again, you have access to all of the facilities. One of the things that's great about these properties and this estate is there's a wine club, which is very active. And I know that they have a great party every year at Harvest, and a lot of the property owners make sure that they're there for Harvest and for this annual event. This is a 2-bedroom villa that's a little bit different. There's not a guaranteed yield, but you share revenue with the owners of the hotel in 60-40. It has its own pool. You can see it's larger on a larger plot of 1,300 square meters, 141 square meters, your own private pool. And it's also furnished, fully furnished and equipped. And you have up to 10 weeks usage. The yield here historically has turned out to be approximately 3%, depending on how long you actually stay. The other option that you have here is to own a property outright without putting it in the pool and living there year round. And we've seen that has been highly sought after this year. And this villa, you can see, is on 8,629 square meters. It's quite large, 4 bedrooms with 439 square meters of house, and you have your own vineyards here, the private pool. This is the last one available in this cluster, and from the day you sign, it will take 16 months to complete. And it's beautifully furnished. We can send you photos of the interiors as well. The next property I'd like to talk to you about is in Évora. Évora is the capital of Alentejo. It's a city that is known for its Roman ruins, its university. It's also UNESCO World Heritage, and it's probably some of the most cultural, it's an important cultural tourist destination for Portugal. This option is an interesting one in that it's a 280,000 euro Golden Visa. It's the least you can pay for your Golden Visa. Effectively, it's the 350,000. It's just outside of a major urban city. So this is a hotel. It's going to be a Holiday Inn Express. You as an investor will become part owner of the hotel. There will be there's room for 60 investors. It was just launched this week. What's unique about this property and this opportunity is that there's a guaranteed buyback in 6 years. So here's how it works. You start the process of your Golden Visa, you pay your 280,000 euros. The only other additional costs you pay are for the general processes of the Golden Visa. it's managed for you. The hotel it's a global brand. It's very well recognized and will do very well in Evra because there is the demand for tour groups, for people from professors and visitors for university. And at the end of 6 years, the company will buy back your investment at 280,000. So you have limited downside and it's very hassle-free. So it's probably a very quick and easy access for those that just want to make the investment, get their residency, and not bother about it. Thanks very mumuch. Ilse, it's back to you.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you for joining, for sharing these options with us so that our guests understand that we don't only offer opportunities in the cities of Porto and Lisbon, that we also have some excellent options outside these two major cities. However, I would like to ask my colleague Anna to tell us, to show us some properties that we have for the 350K option in the Greater Lisbon. Thank you, Anna.
Hi again. Thank you, Wils. Greetings again. So as Ilse was saying, I will be presenting you now another 3 properties that are also eligible for the 350 Golden Visa program. So following the rules of the program, these properties will be completely renovated. And when we say completely renovated, we talk about all that it has to do with the electricity systems, plumbing, windows, floors. So everything will be new and sometimes also a complete change in terms of layout to optimize the space. So these renovations will be done by companies that are very used to Golden Visa projects. Okay, so we have worked with them several times before in the past, and we of course are very glad to share with you some complete projects there for your reference. So the first property I would like to introduce you is located in Monte Estoril. So Monte Estoril is a very exclusive area between Lisbon and Cascais, very close to the seashore, and it's frequently also compared with the French Riviera. It has a lot of aristocratic properties and is an area of residence for the upper class. So here you can find maybe a more relaxed way of life with several beaches close by. It is also in the area of Monte Estoril where you have our most well-known casino, several golf courses, and also a marina. So either if you want to rent or if you want to live in, it's a very good location to make your investment. So in what regards to the property, it is a 2-bedroom apartment with an area of 68 square meters, so with a price of 350,000 euros. So in terms of the layout, you have here 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom and a separate kitchen and a very lighty living area that will face a green area just in front. Okay, this location is very close to the beach, so 1 kilometer to the beach and 1 kilometer to the train station, and also very close, 1.5 kilometers to the casino. So the 2 next properties are located in the area of the Avenidas Novas. So we talked a lot about this area during this webinar. So this is one of the best parts of the city, so very central, heart of the CBD. So it will be for sure a safe investment to buy a property in this location. So in what regards to the apartments, so first one is a 60 square meter 2-bedroom apartment. Again, it will be totally renovated with a price of 350,000 euros. It has 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, separate kitchen, and also a living area. So the works here are foreseen to take about 2 months. So after the works have concluded, you can start renting the property. And this property comes fully furnished and decorated. So, and also if you choose with a 4% guaranteed return for a period of 5 years. This is very well located, again, close to one of the most prestigious engineering universities. So you can also target here a lot of teachers and students, so making it also a very good investment to pursue. The other property is a one-bedroom apartment close to Marquês de Pombal, as referred before, one of our main square that connects to the luxury Avenida da Liberdade. So it's a one-bedroom apartment with 50 square meters with a price of 350,000 euros. So you can see here very classical details also that are part of the Portuguese architecture. So this will be on a top floor with high ceilings, decorated ceilings. So, and the layout of the property will be completely changed, giving place to a very open apartment with a living area and kitchen, bathroom, and a bedroom with access to a balcony. So we are expecting here 4 months of work to renovate the property. And as the one that I shared before, it is also sold furnished and decorated, and with the possibility of 4% guaranteed return for a period of 5 years. So we are here, of course, as said, well, to help, and we are very glad to go into more detail with all of these properties that we shared today with you. Thank you very
Thank you, Anna.
much.
Thank you so much. I have just a final questions for João. João, if a family wants to start now, what would be the step?
Well, look, I think there's two things, obvious two things. One that does not involve realistically in the beginning our interaction, which is to engage with in terms of obtaining and seeking the investment, okay, seeking the property or the properties that make sense for the purposes of the investment and then for the golden visa. And then the second aspect, which has everything to do with us, which is basically, we just need to start interacting with that client to then start to be able to guide the client in terms of obtaining documents from him or her, then producing the documents that we need, like I referred before, to allow us to start taking care of Portuguese tax numbers, opening of bank accounts, and so on. And what I would say is that definitively, if someone has in his mind that they want to go down this road, of course, and even if the property has not, or the investment has not been selected, it's better to start that more logistical aspects of tax numbers, bank accounts, and all of that now, because it will free them up also, because these things take a few weeks to be in place. It will free any clients to then proceed with the next steps when it comes down to committing to a certain investment and then signing agreements and making payments and all of that. So that's what I would say. I think that's where anyone should start with.
Okay, would you share any tips for our audience to just avoid unnecessary traps, if we can call them like that, or headaches?
Well, I have in mind two main aspects as well. The first one, I will seem obviously biased, but it is a generic advice, which is, it is important, and I've seen over the years people wanting to cut costs or to be more in control to some extent of the property transactions, to not seek proper legal advice. Okay, I think that's a mistake. Okay, I think that for something of this importance, and for someone doing an investment specifically with the purpose of obtaining a residency, a golden visa, there is an additional element, or a more a family-driven element for that to take place. It is a process that takes a lot of time. It takes 5-6 years, okay, typically. So I always advise, seek legal counsel, allow the legal counsel to guide you throughout any of the stages, be it with the investment or with the residency. Okay, that's my first advice. The second advice, in terms of avoiding any pitfalls or risks, has to do with what we were talking, and it is a little bit the topic for this conversation, which is the changes to the golden visa regulations that are coming into force in the beginning of next year. The time is elapsing. Okay, we as lawyers have a flaw because we always think about the worst, and when we think about the worst, we have to share with anyone that we have a date set for these changes to come into force. So I believe that if someone wants to do this again, they should think about the timelines. Okay, and thinking about the timelines, in my view, and this is a personal view, and a view also shared internally here in the firm, I don't believe that anyone that wants to do an investment and tie it with a golden visa application should look into starting it, certainly not beyond July, August. Okay. If someone wants to do it properly, without hiccups, without leaving things at random, and leaving loose ends in terms of documents that are not obtainable then within time, and all of that, started latest by July, August. Okay. Of course, if any client approaches us and says, oh, but if I do the transaction and I start in September, October, and so on, and we do everything very quickly, well, it may be the case that everything can be achieved, no doubt, but just be mindful that to do everything without any sort of stress, or to at least try to remove any stress from the whole of the process, do it sooner rather than later. And also, the sooner anyone starts, the sooner the residency will kick in. Okay, the sooner, obviously, also, if that's the objective, reaching to citizenship or to a permanent residency will also be able to be achieved. Okay, so these are the two things that I would highlight, and I think they make absolute sense.
Thank you, João. And by these final answers from João, we've finished our presentations, and I'd like to thank already all our panel members for the input of their professional experience. We are now having some questions that popped up during our presentation. Our first question is for João. The question of our audience is, once the golden visa has been extended twice and reached the 5 years, what are the requirements to apply for a permanent residency? And do we have to come and basically live in Portugal after year 6?
Very good. It's a very good question, by the way. Look, the requirements for a permanent residency, they are what? That there are two types of permanent residency, by the way. But for clients doing the golden visa, there is a special type of permanent residency. That permanent residency can be achieved if, in the same way that you would need it for the applying for Portuguese citizenship, the applicants know a little bit of Portuguese to that A2 level that I've mentioned before. Easy to Google this, okay, to have an idea. And obviously there are other requirements, like obviously having had a residency for 5 years, not having any debts to the tax authorities, social security. That's basically it. Of course, if you're going down that route, it is important to maintain the investment in Portugal. Okay, the law does not specifically say that, but because it is a permanent residency that applies only to golden visa applicants, okay, or whoever has had the golden visa before, this is the underlying rule of thumb. Okay.
Thank you, João. We also had a question that related to that. If clients would choose to keep the golden visa model after year 6, for how long can they hold it?
Look, let me just I'll answer that, but I'm looking at the other question, and I didn't answer a point which is very, very important. With that permanent residency, there's no minimum stay requirement, so the clients would not, or the applicants would not need to live in Portugal. Okay, so there's no minimum stay requirements. It is a very special regime. Now, looking into the question that you've just posed, well, there is no restrictions in terms of how long and for how many times someone can still renew the golden visa, provided that there's absence of criminal record, the investment is maintained, there's no debts to the authorities, they can simply continue to renew it every 2 years, okay?
Okay, thank you, João. We also received a question from our audience regarding the unfinished properties, which is a question I would like to answer. Vasco, our audience was asking, how can I apply for a golden visa if the property is not finished yet?
Yes, it's not a problem, absolutely. You only need to make sure that the project has the horizontal property, provisional or horizontal property ready in order to register your promissory agreement. When I say horizontal property, it basically means that the building has already the apartments divided into independent units, so it's not a problem. You can buy under construction.
Thank you, Vasco. And that is always something that I know from experience as a task of the lawyer to double check if the property does have that status, and also for our audience to know that as soon as a property is reserved, the team sends all the necessary documents to the lawyers to have that verified in a very short time. We also got another question from the audience, and they said, well, if I need to stay a minimum time in Portugal, do I need to stay in my own property, or how does it work? Maybe that's a question that João can answer.
No, not at all, not at all. The stay, those days, anyone can stay anywhere, okay? At a friend's house, at a hotel, at an Airbnb, wherever, okay? Obviously, there will be documents and the flight, the tickets or the boarding passes that can be supplied to show when the client came in and when he's exiting the country. Things like invoices for the accommodation or for things that the clients buy when they're here. That's logistics, okay? That's not, let's not go into that detail, but no, the answer is no. They can freely stay wherever they want.
Thank you, João. I would like to ask one question also to Tara regarding the land properties that are absolutely stunning. You showed a property of 900,000 euros.
Yes.
990,000 euros. Could you just briefly also explain us, and for sure João can also confirm that these are properties that are valid for 2 applications?
Yes. I mean, that's a good point, because we focused here.
Yeah,
absolutely. We've focused here on the 350, 500. We've tried to keep our properties close to that amount, but particularly for in Lisbon, it would be 1 million. So you would have 2 units of 500,000. Outside of Lisbon, it can be 800,000. So you can have 2 units or in 2 blocks or 2 families of 400,000 each. So, and we often see that of co-owning a larger property. In particular, I think João will say when you have older children that are not dependent on you, and you want an additional golden visa for the family, mm-hmm. We're often seeing that as units. So yes, thanks. That particular villa would cover 2 golden visas for 2 families. That's the couple plus their kids plus their parents. So it can cover a golden visa for 2 full families.
Thank you, Tara. We actually just have another question coming in for you as well regarding the Evora Hotel. Our member is asking about the buyback guarantee. Could you confirm that again for us?
Yes. So this developer, this is their 10th project in Portugal. They're based in North America, but have been very successful here in Portugal. They will guarantee to buy back your share that you own, your unit, for 280,000 euros, which is the amount you paid. It will begin in year 6. Now, going back to your question, your previous question about when and how long can you hold your investment. In this particular project, there is a limit. So they will buy back your project, your unit in 6 years, but you must sell it by year 10. So they actually want to own the whole hotel by that time. And in this particular project, they will buy it back beginning in year 6 or any year, but you must sell it by year 10.
All right, thank you, Tara. I believe we unfortunately need to make an end to our presentation, our webinar. I would like to thank all participants and panel members to be here with us today. João to present Edge International Lawyers and give us very thorough information on the Golden Visa program. And colleague members, Andre, Tara, Anna, thank you for sharing your products with us. Again, we had limited time to share all the great opportunities that we have. And we will be really happy if you would get back to us so we can give you more information on these or on any other properties. Vasco, again, thank you so much as a development manager for being here with us today. As I said before, we will share the link to the webinar with you as well, should you wish to review it afterwards. And again, if you have any other questions related to any legal aspects, please let us know. We'll put you in contact with João. And also, apologies if we didn't get all the answers, all your questions answered. We will get back to you. So we certainly hope we will meet you again, and we hope we can welcome you soon in our beautiful country. Have a beautiful day, have a beautiful evening, and please be safe. And again, muito obrigada. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.